This is Unrendered on IKTV. I'm Tony Regisford chatting with the Honorable Clair Leacock. Clair, is there any meat on the bone? Let's deal with your issue first. Have you supported claims for refugee status, Vincentians claiming refugee status in Canada?
I have.
And you feel that you're justified?
More than justified. And if I was asked to do it, I will do it again.
Yes.
I come from a constituency that has its peculiarities, and there have been more than one person, young person in particular, who have been in circumstances and situation which it was in their own best interest, safety of national safety, to be out of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, or they would lose their lives. And I mean, if you look at the statistics that have come out, Tony, and I already saw that recently, you will see that every time that we have had a general election, the exodus from St. Vincent and the Grenadines seems to have increased. 01, 05, and in 2010. And it also points out the statistics for the number of people who have succeeded on the basis of economic circumstances. I have not addressed very many economic circumstances situation. But the case is also made for those people that there is manifestations all about of people who have been victimized in St. Vincent. I have been a victim. I've been victimized, so I don't have to go far to ask about that. I was paid because the government could not contest that they had fired me without just cause. And several people are like that. So the mere fact that near 5,000 people have exited St. Vincent to Canada alone in a 10-year period tell you something had to be wrong. And I believe if we add Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, BVI, Anguilla, the exodus might be close to 10,000 people.
And I want to get this very clear, are you saying that quite a large portion of these cannot now live in St. Vincent because, and I'll put it frank, because of the current governance of the country?
Clair.
The ULP has victimized these people and made it impossible for them to live. And that's the reason why
the worst demonstration of that, Tony, is a government that moved from Together Now in 2001 to within weeks of the 2010 election to divide the country down the center. I am Labour. The bumper stickers that parade the country. I mean, it's one of the worst political mistakes could have been made. I am Labour tending to suggest that if you are not Labour, that you are not going to receive the benefits of society. And they have been practicing
I want to pick you up on that.
Of course.
And just tease you out a bit.
Sure.
The history of that I am Labour sticker, the chronological appearance of that sticker actually came about, in my recollection.
Are you speaking from your inside knowledge?
No. I am not a member of the ULP.
Well, I don't know.
Operate with it. I do not operate inside the ULP.
I am grateful for the disclosure.
I'm a citizen that observes.
Yes.
Okay? And my observation is that when the demonstrations, etc., were being mounted by the NDP on the bills that were to be introduced, that was a counter move by the ULP. Why then is the NDP crying foul for a counter move?
I don't know. You have assumed a position of defense counsel for the ULP.
I am not.
On a matter that is.
You are putting words in my mouth.
I'm assisting you.
I'm challenging you. I'm asking you.
I am assisting you. It is. But if that was in fact the case as a response.
I'm asking you.
If it was a response.
In my observation,
if it was a response to protestation on the streets.
Yes.
Then they could have stopped it. You could have taken them off. But they increased. And that's has served to divide the country. I'm putting it to you, Tony, whether you want to run away from that, that there is practiced victimization in this country on a scale that is unheard of in the history of politics in this country. I'm not second-guessing you on that. This is factual.
And you're stating that this political victimization
has forced a lot of people to leave St. Vincent.
And that is why you are comfortable supporting
refugee status. That's why you see you put the refugee status in a particular in the same way that I have written letters for young men who have been in situations and circumstances that justified them being out of St. Vincent for their own safety. I have done even more letters for young men and women to go to the United Kingdom, to join the Army, Navy, Well, they don't get into the Air Force and the Marines that easily. Even more letters. I haven't heard that said. You know, you speak about the...
It's good that you're saying it here.
You speak about the fact that Canada has taken that issue.
Yes.
It may well be the case also that the reason why we do no longer have the British Army coming here and recruit people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, maybe for other political reasons. Maybe it's just so sensitive a matter, it may not be stated. But nobody's asked us the question why that program has stopped.
Let me ask you the question. Why do you think that program has stopped?
Well, a view has been expressed that the strong sentiments against Her Majesty and against the anti-colonial rhetoric and etc. has been a contributing factor in that regard. That view has been expressed. I haven't done enough research to establish it.
So but there seems to be a pattern of these utterances that these superpowers, UK, Canada, America, etc., because of the foreign policy of St. Vincent government, we are losing favor with these countries, and so our citizens are being pressured. Because this is where that is going as well. It is saying that that this is not necessarily a foreign policy issue here, but a question of anti-colonialism and the anti-colonialist views, as you put it, that we are not in favor of the Queen, etc. That is what may have stopped the recruitment program.
I said that opinion has been proffered. But
is it one that you believe?
But I would say it may well be true. It may well be true.
I find that incredulous.
Let me indicate to you, Tony.
Yes.
When the Canadian High Commissioners visited our party, and the Canadian High Commission as well, I raised both sets of situations with them. One where we are not recruiting young men and women again, and whether or not they can do anything about that matter. In fact, they indicated that we have had such a good record. Remember, that brings in over $80 million to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, you know.
Yes, that's fair.
That if they get to England, that they can still have an opportunity. In fact, we ought to perhaps take a proactive approach and help to get young people to England to see if they could get into the armed services of the United Kingdom. And I also raised with the Canadian High Commission the situation in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and gave them an example of a letter that I had received, which showed a young man who was never associated with a gang, but who almost lost his life because other members in the village figured that his mother had reported them to the police. And if he had not gone out, they would have made an example of him to the mother. And so it was important for him to leave St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I can tell you that factually that there are a number of young men from the Sharps community who are alive today because they left St. Vincent. Not all to Canada. Some are in Barbados and some are on the Caribbean Islands.
The whole thinking, and I want to establish this because you said something has been proffered why the Army has stopped recruiting, the UK Army has stopped recruiting here. Is that the same thinking, not from a point of view of the Canadian Army never recruited anybody here, but imposing visa restrictions? Is that the same thinking why people would proffer the idea that our relationships with Iran may be a factor?
Well, it is not a long stretch. I mean, these people would never...
Is it one that you are promoting, your party is promoting?
We don't have to promote it. We don't have to go and make these cases. But
your leader did make the case.
Well, if he made the case, then I see no reason why I shouldn't stand behind him.
Yes.
There may be a factual matrix for it. Canada has its difficulties with Iran. The United States has its difficulties with Iran. The United Kingdom has its difficulties with Iran. You know, within recent times, because we introduced the question of foreign policy, you know, I don't think there's a lot for us to be proud of in terms of the stand that we took on Libya, for example, that in the end turned out to be egg in our face when we were standing there in defense of Gaddafi. We have the same situation unfolding now with the Syrian situation, which has virtually erupted into a civil war. Last evening I heard, for example, that Turkey was returning artillery fire to Syria, so that now expands up into another kind of cross-border encounter.
The issue here,
but I'm showing you that our foreign policy has not been contributing to the economic advancement of our country. This is not saying that we can't make new friends.
Do you think that the relationship with Venezuela has not contributed to the economy of St. Vincent?
Well, we had a relationship with Venezuela even before this government came.
Yeah, but I'm saying...
I'm saying that they have...
Not leftist.
I am saying concretely that there are benefits that have accrued to us as a result of an improved relationship with Venezuela.
Okay.
There is evidence of that.
Right. I'm just trying to see if you know,
but I can also add there also default situation with our relationship with Venezuela. That is costing the taxpayers on a monthly basis.
If you look at the relationships with
countries, you know, pays $360,000 per month wage bill because Venezuela has defaulted on that. You know
supposedly that money is going to be returned. Supposedly,
well, one doesn't get that impression.
Yes. Okay.
In terms of the argument, we don't get that impression when the question was asked in the Parliament and the answers that have been given.
Right. So you're not of the opinion.
I'm not feel confident. No, I don't feel confident it will be returned.
That's fair enough. I want to talk about the foreign policy some more. We, and Dr. Gonzalez says this, that we're a sovereign country and he has the right to use, or we have the right to use our sovereignty to form and break relationships as need be. There is a pattern, of course, with the country that everybody seems to want to follow the lead of, which is the United States of America. Everybody, not everybody, there are a lot of people who feel, and a lot of them tend to be sympathizers to your party, I must say, feel that if America does not support this, then we need to be cautious. It's not the way America's thinking, we need to be cautious. But Sinclair, you are a well-read man. You know history. You know that America has dabbled and withdrawn as it suits them. Why then can St. Vincent be at liberty to formulate its own relationship?
You think in a way, or when we come back from the break?
Let's give it a stab.
Well, let's begin by accepting, Tony, that America, like any other country, is not without fault. But we in the New Democratic Party, while respecting and recognizing the importance of our sovereignty, feel we ought to emphasize much more our interdependence rather than our independence.
Yes.
And you need to come to realization.
Doesn't your interdependence
our relationship, our relationship with the United States, United Kingdom, and Canada, is just not a matter of foreign relations. In many respects, we are extensions of those societies.
That's how you see yourself.
In many respects, we are not how I see ourselves, because Brooklyn has a population that's larger than that of Kingstown.
Right.
You may find the same thing in
it's a question of where the diaspora has settled.
Where else in the world can you listen to a Vincent radio station, hear them advertising for a social function in the United States?
Sinclair, I'm going to pause here because, you know, this is going to definitely overrun section 2, but I'm going to give you a chance to come back when we come back, as soon as we come back from the break, okay?
Of course.
This is Unrendered, and my guest is the Honorable Sinclair Leacock. More when we come back.